Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adini Ajishafe. It's time to look at those juicy stories again in the world of sport. Even though the World Cup has been the one dominating news, we just have to look at other stories trending to let you know that some Nigerians traveled to Finland precisely to compete at the World Youth Olympics, that's how the Winter Olympics, and they were able to qualify. This is a sport that is not too popular to Nigerians. Talking about curling sport. That's the first story we are looking at. 2024 Youth Winter Olympics, victorious team Nigeria curlers return. Well, a good one. They returned from Finland, where they fought hard. They were able to qualify. Even though the first games they actually competed in, they lost those games. But right now, they've been able to fight. They fought hard for them to qualify for this competition. And really, it has been a wonderful one there. When you look at this sport, it looks as if, which kind of sport is this? This looks like you are looking at balls or what? Standing there. Well, quickly, let you know the meaning of curling sport for you to have an idea of curling sport. Yeah, curling sport is that particular sport that has to do with stones. Now, let's look at the title of curling sport there. It's a sport in which players slide stones on a sheet of ice toward a target area, which is segmented into 4 concentric circles. It is related to balls, and also shuffleboard. That's the meaning of curling sport. And that particular sport that is not too known to Nigerians. We have some Nigerians that travel to Finland and they were able to compete in this particular sport that looks so new to us. But right now they've qualified for the Youth Winter Olympics that will be coming up in South Korea in 2024. We are so happy for the fact that they are able to do this. And right now, Nigerians, we want to see what they'll be doing. At least sometimes back, we have some Nigerians who actually did well for qualifying for the Olympics at the bobsled and skeleton sport, and at least that made some Nigerians to go into that particular sport. Right now we have curling, and some youth traveled to Finland and they were able to do it. While I have in the studio two wonderful analysts that will be talking to us today. I have Yusuf Akogu, good to have you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
And also I have Noel Samson, let's talk sport.
This pleasure is mine, Mr. Denny.
Good one. I just mentioned curling sport there. It's a sport that is kind of looking like alien to Nigerians, but really underground, some Nigerians did well by at least key into it, and they brought it to Nigeria. Some young Nigerians also decided to key into it, and right now we have players that we can call Team Nigerian curling, and they traveled to Finland, qualified. The first 2 games they played, they lost, but they never gave up. They did Argentina style, and they continue. Right now they qualify for the Youth Winter Olympics. They will compete at the mixed doubles, and I love the fact that we have Nigerians for this particular sport. Looking at the title of that particular sport there.
And the sport, just like you said, is alien to Nigeria. When I saw it, I was like, oh, curling sport. This is known for Scandinavian countries, yes, most especially Finland, Denmark, Norway, and so on. This is the kind of sport that they're actually involved in, which is play on ice as well. So I think it's a very good one that we are having Nigeria qualifying this time around. You recall that before, for us to even qualify, we are the only African country to compete in that sport in Finland. So I think it's a very good one. We'll look forward to see what they can do in the 2024 in South Korea when the race tournament began. But again, I really do not know. But when you listen to the president of the federation, Daniel Daramola, he did say that he gave kudos to the boys for their effort and all of that. So we actually look forward to see what they can do, and then look at how we can actually develop these sports. I think one of the major problems we have in sporting development in Nigeria is funding. So we'll look at see how they can actually get funding to ensure that they participate. It's a very good one for him to be able to get the boys to
look at those young lads.
Absolutely, very young boys, some 18, 17, even 16 as well. So among these boys, it's a very, very good one for them. And if they can actually build a career on it from here, I think it's a very good one. That foreign exposure, I think they needed more of it for them to be able to develop.
If you look at these players right now going into these sports, they will actually last long because they are very, very young.
Very young, yes.
And these are Nigerians who stays here, not that because they are in abroad, but they stay in Nigeria, they key into that sport, and they will be going to the Olympics. That's the Youth Winter Olympics in 2024. And the good thing is that they're representing Nigeria in curling sport, which I have given you the definition there. In 2024, we hope that this set of Nigerians will do us proud in this sport that has to do with players sliding stones on a sheet of ice toward a target area, which is segmented into 4 concentric circles. Well, from the way it is, we wait to see them, trying to see what they will do concerning this particular sport come 2024. And I love the fact that those Nigerians abroad who actually brought this sport to Nigeria, kudos to them for at least believing that we can do this. If we can go into bobsled and skeleton sport, we can also go into curling. Not everybody will play soccer, like I always say. But right now, these young Nigerians will go into curling sport and they will make name for themselves. Who knows? Maybe they play football, but right now, curling has gotten them to that level where they will play at the Youth Winter Olympics there. Good one. Quickly, let's move away from the Youth Winter Olympics. Let's talk about football. But this time around, let's come back home to talk about our own league. Yes, if you look at Nigerian football, the only way we can get it right is to go to the grassroots by making sure we involve them in football. Right now, coach of Plateau United talking about Fidelis Ilechukwu right now, say, well, he's calling or canvassing for support for grassroots players slot in NPFL teams, appealing to the IMC, that is Interim Management Committee of the NPFL, to do everything possible to at least allow NPFL teams to feature grassroots players. By doing so, it will give them ample opportunity to have that experience to either play in Nigeria, play in Africa, or play in Europe. They will be exposed, and they will also, their talent will be given that chance where they'll be able to showcase their talent. Because if you look at the NPFL, everybody shouldn't be professional. We can get some grassroots football players who are very talented. And if you allow all the 20 clubs, at least if a club out of the 20 can have 2 or 3 in their squad, before you know it, Nigerian DNA, like Minister of Youth and Sports actually said, will be back one of those days when every player in Nigeria, rather when it comes to Super Eagles, when you check the list of players invited, we have more home base. But right now, scarcely can you see just one home base. Even if that home base should make the cut, it won't be featured. So, coming from Ilechukwu, Fidelis canvasses support for grassroots players right now. Good one.
Well, that's the best way to go, because if we're heading towards the next World Cup, wanting us to win, this is the best way we could go. You can see the final that we played on Sunday. You can see Argentine teams. Most of them started from the Argentine clubs. You can see the France team. You can see the likes of Karim Pepe. They started from the French league. Loris, before we started from the French league. The likes of Kamavinga and the rest started from the French league before moving to other bigger clubs. And you can see what they did at the final. They played well, even though they lost to Argentina. So for us to be able to have that situation where you have the Super Eagles of those days, it has to be from the grassroots, because some of these boys are really young. Because now if you look at the likes of Messi, is 35. The Nigerian players that played with him at
2005.
We are there now. Where's Mikel? Because he's retired from professional football. Taiwo, it's been longer. I don't know if he's retired or he's even still playing.
He's retired.
So you can see which of them, the last of Aguero, because of a heart problem, Aguero played at that competition also too. He could have been playing till now. Fabregas has played at that competition. He's still playing at football, or don't know play for the countryside. He's still playing at football in the Italian Serie B team. So you can see, if you can start from the bottom, you have young players, like if you can catch them young at that early age. If they are 15 years by age, which is 3 years at 15, you can imagine when you bring them to the Nigeria Premier League, they start playing like that. You can see before you know they develop, and when they get to by the time they get to 25, they're already matured. They're already matured to go and face the world, and they will have more exposure. Now, because if you look at our Nigeria Premier League, most of the players, they are old. They just like to, except we want to lie to ourselves. You can see players, someone will play in Nigeria League for about 15 years. What's happening? 15 years, and when they started, probably they started at 25. Some of them will be like 40. If you look at the real age. I expect those guys to go to the international level and perform well for us. It's not possible.
What a point you are making there, Noel Samson. Let's hear from Akogu. Looking at this particular plea coming from coach of Plateau United, that IMC should at least talk to the clubs to allow grassroots players to be included in their squad.
Yeah, I think the problem with sport development in Nigeria is if you talk of grassroots, we have quite a whole lot of grassroots. But what I should think the Ilechukwu should advocate is for most of these big clubs, Kano Pillars, Enyimba, Heartland, to have a very strong academy where these grassroots boys can actually come through. like what we see in Europe, Manchester United, Barcelona.
They pick them all around,
put them in the academy, and they grow up from there. They like of Marcus Rashford. You can name a lot of even Messi and all of them. They actually came out through that process. I think that is what I think we need to do to develop our football. If you talk about grassroots players, I mean, if you look at the under-17, we are the highest in the world. We've won it 5 times. So most of those players were picked from different academies. So I think the problem with, like we keep saying, is the issue of funding. And I don't know, maybe the vision of the NFF and of course the NPFL. I think there's actually a whole lot to do in that regard for us to have for clubs, especially some of the big clubs, to have strong academy where some of these players can actually be catch, very, very young, then develop them, build them up to before they can actually break into the NPFL. Sometimes you give them that experience. For the fact is that most of the players that we have in NPFL actually coming through that from the grassroots.
I know they have feeder teams. You understand? Yes. Most of the clubs, they have feeder teams where they pick those players from. But you look at, even right now as we speak, Real Madrid, they have an academy in Port Harcourt.
Yes.
But Borussia Dortmund or thereabout, they have around.
Barcelona.
Yeah,
but the issue is that, do they pick them at really young age? You cannot pick someone who is
already 22.
Ask me to be in an academy. Yeah. Maybe it's nice. I don't even understand my problem. Did they pick them young?
The problem of age cheats in African football, it's something that you cannot really wish away anytime soon. That is going to continue to happen. Right? It will take time. It's happening in other parts of the world, and it's not only peculiar to Nigeria.
It's very
pronounced.
Because
it's very
every player they have a record that you can't deny. It's there.
Absolutely.
But when you talk about Africa, well, really, age cheats, seriously, we need to work on it because it's part of what is affecting our football.
Let me give you an example. So I have someone I know. When he was quite like 10, 13, 14, very good. We called him Drogba. Very good player. There was no team. He was playing there was no particular team he could get to. But now, it was last week I saw Drogba. How far? Drogba should be like 24 now. Where you did? So I'm in National United Academy at 24. Academy. So
maybe he wanted to say that thing.
He's in the academy.
Okay.
National United Academy. Now, you see him now. Maybe he's claimed like 15. By the time he wants, maybe before he signed a professional contract, get through, he's already like 29.
I'm happy you actually sent me Drogba. We don't know his name, so don't expose the Drogba. You only mentioned Drogba. Drogba is from Cote d'Ivoire, so maybe it's the one
that is nickname we call him. Yes.
Good one. He didn't mention his name, so at least he's safe now. But really, if you look at African football, check out the World Cup. Check out. All of us know that most of these players really. It's affecting our football because if Messi in 2005, in 2022, the same Messi winning World Cup. Taiwo, Mikel Obi, all this squad, you can't even remember their names.
Where are they now?
The names are actually gone to oblivion. But now, even Mikel, that you can actually pick as at the peak of his career,
is retired now.
Most remembered, has retired from football. So you can imagine, but Messi is still playing. That shows that something must be done about our age issue.
Yes, a whole lot needs to be done with regard to our age issue. Although an MRI test was introduced to check that, but again, somehow it's as if it's not really working properly.
As if you don't know how
it's not working properly. In Nigeria, Nigeria we have a way of bypassing almost everything.
A short course.
So that is what is affecting the football. I think there's something that IMC, NPFL, and of course the NFF, is something that need to sit down, look at it, and look themselves in the face, attend the hard truth. But what do we need to do to develop our football? What do we do to compete to be able to compete at the highest level?
And the first is that age. If they can break that age problem,
we'll go places.
Because look at the likes of Mason Mount. You know, Mason Mount has been in Chelsea like 2008. The last he has been in Chelsea was 9. He's been there, and you can follow the development.
You know why it will be difficult is the kind of environment in Africa. You can't compare Africa and Europe.
But let's start from somewhere.
It's totally different.
But we just have to
start somewhere.
We have some players, some African players that were born in Europe, like Bukayo Saka. He was born in Europe. He has access to quality facility. Look at what he's doing.
And somebody that was actually born in a village.
So you can't compare. You understand? So I remember he mentioned Drogba. There was a guy I know who played for under-17. We won the gold. He was I don't want to describe him so much. At the time he was, I know him very well. At the time he was playing for under-17, I knew he was like 29 years of age. But he was in the under-17 of Nigeria. Today he's nowhere to be found. You understand? So this age should need to be addressed for football to move forward.
We just have to talk about it because really Africa, the whole, it's not about Nigeria, it's not peculiar to us because I actually saw one nation, let me not mention now, where I saw one old man claiming he's the captain of the team and he's looking like, really, you know this is a father. See, not father as in getting married quickly, but father, as an old man. And he's claiming to be, I think they wrote 21 or whatever, and that man is looking 44. See, seriously, something must be done about it.
The like of Mbappe, who is barely 24.
Now,
and he's already won World Cup. Look at what he's doing.
Two World Cups now. At 24. You can imagine.
He has done to football.
You can go to for 3 more World Cup again. He might win extra 1 or 2 more Cup before he retires.
And then.
That's the issue.
What do you think of from an African player, either from Nigeria or Congo or Ghana or Morocco or other places?
Forget it. Just one World Cup here. If you're opportunity to play one World Cup as an African, it's a privilege.
No, we have a lot of Africans that have played 2-3 World Cups.
Well, if I know Jamila actually was. Yes. But anyway, just to divert a bit, but really, we need to tell ourselves the truth. In Africa, if you want to do well, really, we were able to get to the semi-finals, breaking another record, but we need to. It's high time we get that into ourselves that yes, we can actually win the World Cup if we do the right thing. It's just for the whole nation in Africa to look at how do we start. Let's review. Let's get it right by featuring players at the right age. Let's not be lying about their ages anymore. Let's just use the right age and also make sure we put the round peg in the round hole for us to get it right. When it comes to football in Africa, coming from Ilechukwu, that's the coach of Plateau United, talking about getting grassroots players to at least feature in the NPFL. That would be nice, yes, but we just hope that we are featuring the right age player. Well, from there, let's go to FIFA. FIFA released recently, that will be the last of this year, December, the ranking, FIFA ranking for 2022. And after the World Cup, yes, you just have to give it to the La Celeste, as they call them. Celeste right now, they won it. Argentina, they are #1 in the world right now. And you have Brazil, yes, Brazil, despite that ouster, the seashore class, well, they are second. France, third. You have England, Belgium, Netherlands, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Croatia, and you have Switzerland, USA, Germany, Morocco. Yes, Morocco is 14th, the top in Africa. You have Mexico, Uruguay, Colombia, Denmark, Senegal, actually second in Africa, 19 in the world. And you have Japan. And to let you know that if you look at this, for a while now, it has been maybe a long time, an African get to that particular position of having 14. Nigerians still have that record of coming fifth. Fifth in 1994. Yes. That World Cup.
Those days.
Yeah, those days. Yeah. Either you want to say those days or now. We shall have 5. Yeah. We're fifth on the log. But really, looking at this particular world ranking now, I saw you actually shaking your head. You were not too happy with Brazil being second?
What is France doing at third
position? Is the point together?
Which point? This guy have been to the final back to back within 4 years, and you are third in Brazil. The Croatia eliminated them at the quarterfinal. Then what are we saying?
Yeah, well, a lot of things FIFA actually put together, coefficients, a lot of points, a lot of reasons. Mathematically, you check out, by the time they show you, you'll be done finding that okay, my argument was actually wrong.
Okay. Yeah, I think the ranking is in order, if you ask me. Argentina, of course, the world champion. What else can you say about that? Brazil, you can't take anything away from them. 5th-time world champion. They competed in the 6th one. They couldn't get it, so they're coming back again in 2026 to see what they can do about that. France, fantastic team they have. Played so well in the final. Lost gallantly to Argentina in that final. So it's a very good one. And if you come down to Africa, Morocco, the first African team to be.
Maybe I should take it from you there. Let's look at African ranking now. The one they also did for, if you look at Africa, we have Morocco as #1, 14th in the world. Senegal 19. Senegal actually second in Africa. Followed by Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. They are 29th in the world. The world bracket, the figures rather in brackets, actually their world ranking. Then in Africa is the one before the country. So Cameroon are 4th in Africa, 33rd in the world. Nigeria 5th in Africa, 35th in the world. That 5th was what we actually had in 1994
I'm
as
surprised
world
I
ranking.
can't see Ghana here.
No, Ghana is actually standing 11, so I decided to put from the way it is, first to 10, Burkina Faso 10, 15 in the world, Cote d'Ivoire 47 in the world, 9 Africa, Mali, Egypt, Algeria, and you have Nigeria in that pecking order from 1 to 10 in Africa.
Yeah, I think if you look at me, I'm wondering why Nigeria is there number 5th. Because if you look at performance in recent times, that's not really been encouraging.
We've always been in that field for almost.
Yeah, for almost exactly.
Maybe they just.
I don't know. Maybe it's a way of FIFA, compensating or recognizing Nigeria, because we're a footballing nation, no doubt about that. And if you look at Morocco, it's in order. Senegal, those are the 2 African teams that were able to cross to the second round. And Morocco made it all the way to the semi-final before they lost out to France. So I think it's in order. I think what we need to do now to develop our football and to get back to where we were in 1994, when we were ranked 5th in the world, I think we need to do more and then try to get another JJ Okocha, Sunday Olise, Peter Rufai,
Rashidi
Ekini, and co. So I think those are some of the things that we need to do for us to get back to to that level again.
Okay, good one there. Just giving you a feel of the new FIFA ranking that will be ending 2022. Now, quickly, let's look at some results from match we actually play in the EFL Cup. Let's look at those results quickly before we wrap it up. EFL Cup 4th round result there. Milton Kingdoms, the giant killer, couldn't go against Leicester City. Leicester thought that they could actually kill them. They quickly did, they did it early. 3-0 against them. Newcastle United 1-0. They peeped AFC Bournemouth. Southampton 2, Lincoln City 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Gillingham 0. This particular competition, when it comes to Carabao or EFL Cup or FA Cup, that's where you see giant killing teams. Teams that their name alone is scary.
But the field, they are not.
But really, we just at least to let you have a feel of what happened.
There's no surprises.
No surprise at all. The big boys really show class against the other teams. Now, quickly, let's take those 2 more stories before we wrap it up. Saudi Arabia, Al Nassr, yes, that deal could be edging home right now. Saudi club Al Nassr expects Cristiano Ronaldo to join them in a 2.5-year deal worth €200 million before the end of the year. Well, from the way it is, Al Nassr are really pushing to get Ronaldo.
Yes, I think it's good for him. Let him go there and retire. I know he's obsessed about losing the World Cup. I don't think he can get his hand on that trophy again in his career.
So he just go and get the trophy of Saudi.
Yeah, probably go into coaching training and then get his license and probably winning as a coach for Portugal.
It doesn't need to be a coach.
Well,
you are not the one that will tell him to be a coach. What he wants to be a business
if you want to win the World Cup.
Okay, as a coach.
For Portugal. You understand? That's what I actually meant. So I think that is a very good idea. You should go to Saudi Arabia and take the money. I think at this part of his career, there is nothing to prove to anybody.
So
whether it's the GOAT or it's not the GOAT, I don't think it's a debate that we should continue.
Well, from the way it is, either good or not, Ronaldo should go and enjoy this 174 million pounds.
I expect him to do this thing since before we go to Manchester United.
No, World Cup.
Even when I saw that I was going to Manchester United, I was like, what do you need Manchester United for now? You're supposed to go to US. It's in Beckham
or China.
Beckham, Inter Miami was begging that please come to us. What are you doing in Manchester United? Why not go to US or go to China or probably go to?
Maybe China will have signed like 500 million pounds.
Yeah, I think Ronaldo was poised to remain in active football. He want to remain active.
Yeah, he was nearly joining Manchester City. You remember?
Exactly.
And it's not
possible. He was almost joining before Alex Ferguson intervened, and he had to swap back to his former club. So if you check it out, at times we are as humans, we can't see the end. You can't see the future. You can only envision it. But in real life.
But again, your body system should tell you whether.
But at that time, to be candid, at that time he came to Man United, it was still at least he was able to do well.
But what did he expect? He expected he was 36 probably then. He expected we playing the likes of those young players.
He wanted the team to be built around him, which was not what the coaches wanted.
You guys should let Ronaldo be, please.
No. He's a player I respect so much. I'm a fan of Ronaldo.
Okay.
No matter what happened to him, he's a very good player. He's given us quite a whole lot to chew in the world of football for many years. So there's nothing, I can't take anything away
and
from
the
him.
sweet celebration alone.
Oh my goodness. So I'm going to miss that for a very long time.
Well, let's wrap it up with this particular story. Brighton Argentine midfield midfielder, McAllister Alexis. Really, a lot of clubs are really pursuing this young man. He has become a gold right now. Talking about Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, and also Tottenham Hotspur, all looking for Brighton Argentine midfielder Alexis McAllister. McAllister turned to a goal.
Absolutely, he's a very fantastic player. What he did at the World Cup with the other guy from Atletico Madrid, they both that midfield properly very well. So I think until a few days to the after the before the final, I didn't even know he was playing for Brighton. Funny enough.
Yes, that's the way it is. You know, the World Cup also made able to discover James Rodriguez.
Yes,
exactly.
But right now, McAllister, wow, a lot of people are who is McAllister?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So what a player he is, fantastic player.
Well,
I think
it was quite quiet in the Premier League,
but now, even they don't even give him much credence.
Yes,
he was not well recognized, but now his profile has increased.
Yes,
his profile actually increased there. Not forget Emiliano Martinez. Really, this World Cup has shown that there are some golden stars in those hidden teams. Good one there. Yusuf Akogu and Noel Samson, thank you very much.
The pleasure.
Always a pleasure being here.
Good one. Yes, I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.